Well, hello and happy Wednesday, everybody. My name is Doug Robbins. I am, or you might know me as Doug the Efficient, as you can see down there. Welcome. It is Wednesday night, so we are doing a series right now here at Engagement, talking to wedding pros. So, ladies and gentlemen, sit back, relax. Hope you have a little bevy yourself, and welcome to the wedding edition of Engagement. So you've heard this story before. I've said it a million times. Well, at least for the last 4 seasons, anyhow. People say, Doug, you're a wedding celebrant and a wedding officiant and a wedding planner, and you have a channel on called Engagement. And is it just for people that are getting engaged, that are getting married? And I say to them, no. The word engagement means to come together and to have a meeting, to have a chit chat, have a meeting of the minds. And there's nothing I like better than talking to people, especially if you've got a tasty beverage. Thank you, Silent Sam. Coming together and having a chit chat, engaging people and learning about what they do and what who they are, and celebrating people at the same time. So it is coincidental that I do a wedding series. I did it last year as well, called the Masterclass in Weddings, and I am doing it this year called Say Yes to the Pros, where you get an opportunity to meet some pros. Maybe you're engaged. Maybe you have a friend who's engaged. Maybe you have a child who's getting married this year. And maybe you can't get out. You don't want to schlep out to all the wedding shows, and you'd rather stay at home in your cozies and watch, what's going on and learn who's out there in the profession. I'm your channel. I'm your guy. This is the place to be. So we've already talked so far to Lisa Lester, who is a great decorator, has a great venue, along with Wailing Grin, who has a real musical flair when it comes to DJing. We've talked to Ashley, who is the Sunflower Queen, who has a great spot to do weddings, brand new, very great idea for weddings in this area. And we spoke with a good friend of mine, Cindy June, who is a spectacular photographer who really will go to the ends of the earth to get photos. So today, because, when I started this channel, I wanted to be able to have a sippy sip, have a little chit chat, have a giggle. What else would be important at a wedding? We've talked about venues and photographers and DJs. How about a little bit of vino, a little bit of wine, a little bit of, something at the table for everyone to sort of lubricate and loosen up. So I reached out to a local vineyard who is in our neck of the woods, and asked them to come on. Let's talk about wine. And they're award-winning wines here. So I wanted to bring in these two mother and daughter team. So Sue and Kristen from Early Acres. Let's bring them in from the green room. And hey, ladies.
Hey.
Hi.
How are you?
Good. Are you guys drinking tonight?
We should be.
You should be, yes. Shame on you. Shame.
Surrounded by them.
You are surrounded by, not only I see wines, but I see awards. We're going to talk about those in a minute. But
yes.
So you guys have Early Acre Estate Winery, and you're sort of the gem in this area. And tell us how you guys came about. How did it start? How did you get to this point?
Go for it.
Well, it was kind of a passion that we had to enjoy something different around here. We always enjoyed it when we went Niagara Way, and we thought, why not try and plant some here one day? And we did, and they took off. And all of a sudden, now we find ourselves with a winery, and it's been really great for the last 10 years or so, I guess. It's been really a lot of fun.
Do people ask you all the time, like, do you guys have wine with every meal?
Yes.
Or people just expect that you do?
Yes. We have wine every day at some time during the day.
Yes.
Not with every meal. You don't put it on your Cheerios, right?
Well, no. But mimosas.
Yeah, we'd make a mimosa.
Yes. I knew, Kristen, I knew that you and I were good friends when you said mimosas. It's definitely the breakfast beverage of choice. So
There is.
Or as my friend Tracy calls it, an eye opener. So yeah. So you guys have a vineyard. You guys have how big is the vineyard? How much do you produce, and what do you produce?
So we have 7.5 acres here, and we have about 10 different varieties that we produce here. Our largest block is our Cab Franc that we produce, and we have a large block of Baco Noir as well. And then the rest is split between different wines of grapes of whites, like we have Pinot Gris and Sauvignon Blanc and Chardonnay and Vidal. So yeah, we have quite a variety here.
Full spectrum from very dry to beautifully sweet. And you guys are also a VQA as well. Is that correct?
Yes. Yeah, we are a VQA
cool
winery. Yeah.
I stole that off of your page.
You did.
Yeah.
That's our triple play. That is one of our only wines right now that is a blend of 3.
Nice.
That was something new we did 3 years ago, maybe.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Nice.
Yeah. So right now it's the only one with a 3 blend of wine.
Mm-hmm. You have a beautiful spot there. This is one of my favorite pictures of your spot.
Yes, that was me on the front porch.
Nothing says lower my blood pressure faster than that. You know, seeing the sun come down with a nice, comfortable spot, nice view, and a glass of little Pinot or whatever your favorite wine of choice is, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you guys you're not, I wouldn't say you're a schmuck in this business because you guys have won some major awards. So there's a few of your medalists.
There's a few there. There's a few behind us. And
I saw that.
Our most recent
last year, I guess.
Last
year at the All Canadians, we actually won a double gold for our Vidal.
Nice.
Fruit wine.
For our fruit wine. Yeah, I guess it was for a fruit wine. Which
Vidal took one too.
Yeah.
We took I think it was three awards. 2
Yeah.
fruit wine and 1 white. And
yeah.
we don't always send every wine away to every competition, and we try not to send the same one. So this time we tried our fruit wines. They hadn't been sent before. And then Vidal was one of the whites that won a couple of years ago. So we resent our new vintage and did well with that one.
Mm-hmm.
So from time to time, I have a friend. I call her my sister from another mister. She goes by many names. She also is known as Boozy Susie. Her and I both to nauseum quote things from Schitt's Creek. And will there ever be a Moira Rosé?
You know what?
It's
It's funny you should ask. So trending, as we are live streaming here, trending is rosé right now. So to follow trend, we've been playing around with something.
Yeah. So
to try and
we're hoping later this year to release our very first rosé. It's still in the tank. It's still doing some stuff, but
we're still testing
it
testing.
and doing what we're doing with it.
Yeah.
But yeah, and I think people are going to like it. I think it's going to be something
Awesome.
to look forward to in the fall. I think is when we'll probably be doing it. So
Awesome.
Yeah.
Great.
So
this one here as well, I pulled off. So, I mean, we're a big fan, of course, of eating local, shopping local, and of course, drinking local. So that I love that. I had to pull that off your page as well.
Mhm.
Are these newer wines for you guys?
Actually, they're ones that we've done for a couple different times, but they're a newer vintage. They're both blends that people do really, really, really like to enjoy. But they're always different when we do them because we never know when that particular grape comes off. It's going to be exactly the same. So people say, I want it to taste like this, and it doesn't always. It's something new. So people have embraced it. So it's been pretty good. But those are kind of 2 staple that we've had for quite some time doing that blend. We've been really, really successful with those 2.
That's awesome. Now, you guys have a great location in this area where you have a vineyard in your backyard. And, you think about all of the tours in California where they go on a vineyard tour and they walk through, with a glass of, their, wine and du jour, and they wander through the grapes, and it's very romantic. And you guys have a beautiful setting because you've been very, very careful and very studious in keeping it in beautiful. So you have events as well on that property.
Mm-hmm.
I know that we haven't been having events. Events have been sort of like not happening because of the little thing called COVID. But are you guys planning on ramping up some more events or doing weddings at the place? Or
So we don't host weddings at the time, and it's not something I think we're going to dive into quite yet.
No.
But we would like to get back to our events. As you can tell by that picture, there's a great turnout of people. We've been fortunate enough to have great weather usually when we have events, but we're also looking into a few kind of different events this year to bring maybe a different crowd of people out. Maybe not always having the music, but having something else tied with it. So we are planning, we've been talking to a few other local people, like strictly local, to come on out. But now I guess
now that things are changing
we're
hoping to do it. It's tentatively something we're hoping to get organized to be able to do the first different event here in May. So if we get it going, it'll be advertised here shortly within a month. And then something to do, because we have quite a large piece of property here. So we want to utilize it as much as we can to get people to enjoy being here, but also to give people something to do. A lot of people just want something to do, a place to go. And that's the other thing with weddings, Doug. We've done it for quite a few, actually. We have a lot of people come here for their actual wedding photos, for their special day or their engagement photos, or family photos or family reunion photos. And that's something that we offer too. And we always, once we have a booking for a wedding pictures, we only let that bride have the day here. We never book two. So they have complete use of the whole entire estate here to have their pictures taken and do what they need to do.
Nice. Yeah. Speaking of brides, what people don't realize, like I'm also a wedding planner. So when you're planning a day, and actually when we had my oldest son, when he got married, we came out, we sat down, we did some tasting to find the right beverage, the proper wines we wanted at the table. And couples don't realize they can come out and do that. I mean, you can ask your venue of choice, can you provide this wine? Can I bring this wine in? Also, what I've learned, obviously, during COVID is that, I've done a ton of weddings that are either in backyards, beaches, or barns, where you have the control over the liquor. You get a license, a special occasion permit. You might hire someone like the AYS at your service, which will handle, serving you the alcohol, and you can bring in, your local estate wines like yourself, and have that specifically for that day. And that's really important. Do you want to talk a little about how that happens?
I think people forget that they can do that.
Yeah, I think so.
Absolutely.
We don't just have to have our wine at a huge venue. If, like you said, a backyard get together, wedding, family reunion, just a special engagement, people come in. Any wine that we have is up for grabs generally, unless it's a big wedding. We do suggest, we have more of this kind that might suit more people. Whereas if it's smaller, they can have a little bit more flexibility. But people come in here, they sample, they try, and if it's a private event at your house, your grandma's barn, whatever it is, they're able to purchase that right on the spot, take it with them, and they're good to go for their event.
Yeah, and if they happen to be at a local event here in town, like they're at an actual venue hosting it per se, they can also approach that particular people at the venue and say, listen, can we bring our Early Acres wine here or our local wine in, because we really like it and we'd like to know if you can have it. And it is always available for any of those events locations in town for them to come directly as well to purchase and have it at their wedding if they're going to have it in, say, an actual place instead of just a private ceremony.
Right. So what I've been telling a lot of couples that have had to, we've learned a lot during COVID, and we've learned that you can still have an event, a wedding, or whatever the case may be, and it might be smaller, but that doesn't mean that smaller means less money. You could spend the same amount of money you would normally on, 50 people and have 10 people, or, scale it down any way you want. But that means now you have more budget for really great wine, or bump up the entree selection, so that it's even more special, because now I think we crave that speciality because it's just very, very intimate. I've done so many weddings where it's only their closest family and friends, and those are the weddings that are, they're all special to me.
Yes.
But those are the weddings where you really feel the impact of that sort of closeness. So you have the opportunity to spend a little bit more and make it that much more special, and still blow the budget and just spend it well.
Right? I think we were just talking about it the other day, how much things are moving towards more small scale events, weddings, etc. And that's kind of something that we pride ourselves on. So whenever you come to Early Acres, 90% of the time there's a family member either on site or working, or a very, very close family friend. We don't have rotating people in the store. We don't have someone else hired to do things for us. It's us. And it's nice to have people into the small setting, to be able to talk one-on-one with them, to be able to hear about what type of event they have, and then suggest what we think is most appropriate for their event. So we work directly with them. There's no third person in between. You know, we'll get to you, we'll get back to them, your suggestion. It's nice. So we support that small, intimate event or something, but we're also here for the big ones too. We have big events outside, but small ones are.
And there's
special.
also some people too have said, you know, I really like your wine, but we're going away to get married, but I really like to have your wine. And I said, well, you can take it. We've had a lot of people over the years come and say, you know, this is my favorite wine, or my soon-to-be husband proposed to me when we were having this wine, or we had it for Christmas dinner. And so people can also come and purchase the wine for that. So a lot of people take it and they either pack it in their luggage, or we have special packaging that they have sent with them to go. And the wines have ended up in Germany. We've had them in Ireland. We've had them in Bora Bora. They were in England, in Florida, in Disney World, and they send us pictures after and say, oh my gosh, here's a picture of us on the beach with your wine. It was just, you know, very small, and we got to have the wine that was our favorite. So people can also do that. They've taken it with them when they go away to get married somewhere else.
Absolutely. So I recommend, of course, you know, to anyone that I mean, if you're having a wedding and it's not a dry wedding.
Well, then, we can't help you if it's a dry wedding.
If it's a dry wedding, please don't call me. Not that I stay to drink afterwards. I'm off to another wedding because I do multiples in a day, but you know, not that I'm judging. But if you're needing wine and you want to keep, you know, shop local, drink local, definitely reach out to Early Acres and get it ordered. One great thing you guys did that I thought was really great service is the fact that I know when we picked up our wine for my son's wedding, it was chilled. It came out of the cooler into a vehicle and into another cooler, and I really appreciated that. I thought that was a really great way to do it. So well done.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, ladies, enjoy your evening. Go get some wine.
Yeah, thank you.
All right. Thank you, Early Acres. Have a great night.
Thank you so much. Take care.
So that was Early Acres, and great location, great people. Again, I'm a big fan of drinking local, and so now we have a real dynamo. She's coming on board to talk to us about a location that I'm a big fan of, and I just realized I screwed up. I should have pulled a picture that I wanted to show, but Doug's not that smart today, apparently. So we're about to bring in here Brittany. Brittany is a big deal, and she's pretty awesome when it comes to being on guard when it comes to weddings. So Brittany from Retro Suites, this is her. Look at her all glammed up sitting there posed on a bed. I'm gonna bring Brittany in here. Hey, girl.
Doug, you're pumping me up already.
Blowing smoke, you know, usual.
Yeah.
So, Brittany, you are with Retro Suites. I know the wall that you're in front of because I have done more weddings in front of that graffiti wall. Yeah. And I have a rule. If any photographer or any wedding person wants to show a picture, and they show a picture of a service that's happening, and there's an officiant or celebrant in it, and it's not me, I don't show it. So I was going to I have several shots of me in front of that wall doing weddings. So shout out to Rob and Courtney and countless people that I've done weddings in front of that wall. And I was going to bring one in and show it off because, hey, toot my own horn, right?
Yeah, so, we always say it's maybe a bigger commitment than the marriage to have this in the background of all of your photos at your ceremony, but like it's so cool.
It's very cool. It's very cool. And what people don't realize is if you don't want that, but you want to get married in that very spot, you can close the curtains, add some twinkle lights, and you wouldn't know it's there. It's gorgeous.
No, it becomes a magical place.
It is, well, Retro Suites is a magical place. Let's face it. It's a pretty cool spot here. It's very much a gem when it comes to local locations to get married at, or to have an event, or just to escape for a, what I love to say, for a lover's holiday. Yeah.
Isn't it?
Yeah. So Brittany, welcome. I've got some
Thank
great
you.
photos I want to show of yours.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to start with what we both know is your and my favorite.
Okay.
This is a gorgeous shot. I love this. It's so timely.
Yes.
This one here. Yeah.
Right.
And the letters, I know for a fact, are done by Mark Reinhardt, who's a local guy here in town, who is I would like to say a gaffer tape aficionado artist. He has put
It's a skill.
He has a skill. He's very, very talented. It's a great spot for a wedding. It's a great spot for an event. The outside walls, of course, there's a lot of unique spots for photographs and such. Speaking of great photos, this is a very much duplicated, copied photo that people do a lot, and it really says a lot.
Yes.
Right.
That one's beautiful.
And to have the ability to get some great shots, because this is your moment, this is your day, right?
Yes.
So tell us about the services you offer there at Retro Suites.
So of course, first we're a hotel, so Retro Suites Hotel. So we have 45 guest rooms, and they're all uniquely themed and designed. So no two are the same. So we have 7 different room categories, and we always like to say we're not cookie cutter. So nothing. You enter one room and it's completely different than the one next door. So again, it comes down to, let's say for a wedding. So we have the full service chilled Cork, providing all of the catering here in house. And we always like to say, your experience starts now. We're creating your experience. This isn't, you look at the paper and that's what you get. We want to learn about you, what's special to you, and really customize it to be your perfect day. And that's really what sets us apart. I would say what makes us different is we really take the time to listen, to ask the right questions, and provide that full service for your wedding day that's really catered to you and them as a couple, right?
Right. So, as myself, I'm a certified event planner as well. And this series, when it came about, it sort of hit me kind of like lightning in a bottle. And I thought, well, this is a great event or a great series to have on. And you can take the word wedding right out. It's all about, an event, whatever that event might be. It could be a funeral event. It could be a corporate event. It could be a wedding event. So you guys cater to all kinds of events.
We do.
And you move on a dime and change the room and, make it happen. So tell me about the staff there. I know your staff is by far, A+ all the way.
We are we're kind of a little family here. We understand what it takes and what it means to our clients. So we do go, I'd say more often than not, the extra mile. I know, Doug, you're a big fan of Heather, as she is of yours.
Yes, she is.
Yeah. So we are like a little family here. Hospitality, I think, is in everyone's bones and just in our DNA. It's something that we couldn't shake if we wanted to. So that's probably the best way to describe everyone here at Retro Suites.
Yeah. So actually, Heather, a mutual friend of ours, I got to know Heather through the Retro Suites because they refer me a lot for weddings there. And I love how Heather positions me. She tells everyone, Doug is the officiant to the stars.
Yeah.
But this is Chatham, Kent. So...
Before you were pumping me up for the show, Heather was pumping me up for the show. She's just the best. So.
She's awesome. Yeah, she's awesome. So you mentioned earlier about the rooms and how unique they are. I've got a couple of shots here I want to share, at least this one here. That's your sports room, which is very cool.
For the boys.
Yep, for the boys. This is the presidential suite, which is gorgeous.
For the ladies.
Or for, that night, right?
That's true.
Right.
And that's one thing, where it's now the wedding suite.
Yes.
And
then this one here.
Paris.
Gorgeous.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Oui.
Lots of fun.
Yeah.
But aside from the rooms itself that you would, hunker down, lay down, and sleep in and inhabit, you have a great venue when it comes to for the event, right? Whether
We do.
that's again, marriage event, wedding event, funeral event, whatever.
Mhm.
Of course, I had to start with the cocktail area because I tend
Yeah.
to drink a little bit. So in the Derby, this great bar,
Yeah.
the Derby dressed up like this. There's a lot of different configurations, of course, for the Derby.
Yes.
I have, in all confessions, it's been a while since my last confession, but I actually at one or two weddings went in and photographed the room before anyone came in because it was just that awesome.
Stunning. Yeah.
There was a wedding that was configured, and I think you have a very similar configuration here in this one here. Yes, in the big square. But this room was done with these incredible tall flower pots, we'll call them.
Okay.
And then everything else was done in vintage teacups and plates. It was gorgeous. It was gorgeous. So, I mean,
Sounds
there's
lovely.
a lot of ways to make it your own. So, and I assume just talk to Brittany or the team and they'll make it your own. Is that correct?
Yeah. That's definitely correct. And of course, we always point our couples in the right direction. If we can't help you, for decor, get in touch with Lisa. And shout out to Lisa because a lot of the photos that I shared with you, Doug, are her team at To Suit Your Fancy with the decor. So a lot of times, like Lisa will do, where show me your Pinterest board, put this together, and then we'll bring your vision to life. That's a lot of what we try to do as well, where it's like, tell me what you need and I'll get you in touch with the right person if we can't, in fact, do it here.
Absolutely. We have a lot of talent in the area.
We do.
So again, many different looks of the area. I mean, this here, this is looking in the Derby from the bar area or cocktail area out.
Yep.
Very glamorous. Or the entrance into the Derby.
Yep.
Raised podium. That's the graffiti wall, if I'm correct. Is that not?
Yes, I believe so. Otherwise, no, actually, I believe it's against the opposite wall, the east wall.
Oh, okay.
With some pipe and drape. And typically what would happen in this situation, Doug, is if the decorator has come in and done this beautiful backdrop, when it comes time to the reception, we would reuse this area. So we would actually move that platform, and then that's where we would place the head table. So it would be repurposed for both the ceremony and then the reception as well.
So this is really good. We did not rehearse this, people. This is just organic. So during the series, I've been giving tips and asking for pro tips. So I've been giving pro tips because I do a lot of weddings and I'm certified to do so. So I mentioned first tip was to have a DJ, have a PA system, have someone who knows music. The music will make the mood better, make everyone more connected. And the second tip was to ask your pros, who to use. So hang on, we're about to have a pro tip. Hang on.
Okay.
And of course, as always, our pro tip is sponsored by With This Ring. Great wedding officiant, that guy. He loves what he does.
The passion. You can feel it.
Pro tip. People don't necessarily want to, weddings are expensive. My suggestion for pro tip is if you can afford a wedding planner, get a wedding planner.
Yes.
And you guys come with the package. You guys are part of the package. So it's free.
Yeah.
But if you don't have that luxury and you have to, maybe you're having your wedding in a backyard, a barn, or a beach, and you don't want to pay for a wedding planner, plan it out like you would if you were a wedding planner. And then one of the best things I've ever heard is that then engage certain friends to do certain things. So I always tell couples, I'm coming to your wedding. The marriage license must be present during the service. A lot of people a lot of officiants don't know that. It's required legally to be in the surrounding areas when the vows are taken. I say, give that duty to someone. So when I get there, they go, that weird guy there looks like he doesn't belong here. He must be the celebrant. That must be Doug. And they'll bring me the license so I can then vet the license, make sure it's ready, do what I have to do, the paperwork, and bippity boppity boo, away we go. So have someone to do those jobs that you just shouldn't have to do on your wedding day.
Yeah.
One of the greatest things I've ever heard was, when the bride rushes from her family home. This is so like, it's so virtuous. She leaves her family's home. She's a virgin, right? So at the mom's house, she's getting her hair and makeup done, and they're getting probably the talk. I don't know. I don't have girls, I have boys. And then they leave the house, and the house is a mess. And someone's got to lock up the house. And you get to the church or the hall or wherever you're at, and you go, hey, did you lock the door? Yeah. Have a friend there that's not invited to the wedding to stay behind to do the cleanup, maybe pick up the mimosa glasses and tidy up and lock up the house for you. Or have a friend, do maybe they just drive you to the service or whatever it is that you need to do. If you can't afford a planner, engage your friends to be planners.
Right.
But with that said, if you go to the retro suites, there's a planner in you.
Yes.
Yeah,
and that's one thing about our team too, is we'll never defer couples away from booking a wedding planner, or, especially when we were doing a lot of backyard weddings, because there are a lot of things involved that couples don't realize need to take place on the day. So of course, like myself, Heather, like Jenna, we're only so many people. So we never defer away because we understand how big that role is. But yeah, here in the Derby, we're part of like the entire day. So someone's always here from the morning to the very end of the night. We're opening the doors and timing the ceremony and cueing everyone so they're in the correct order, so they take their big breaths and realize, I can do this. I will be fine. So we're that pep talk before you go down the aisle. We're that fun dance on the dance floor once everything's said and done. Like, we're really creating friendships and relationships with our couples so that they do trust that everything is going to be taken care of, and that we're here for their best interest. And, we're really like that friend that isn't invited to the wedding because you've not known me that long, but I'm here to make sure that your day just goes amazing. So.
I love how you put that. I'm your friend.
That you haven't known that long, but you don't have to invite me, and I don't take it personal because I work here.
Yes, I don't have to buy you a gift.
Yeah, I am your gift. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, exactly. So there's a couple of shots here I want to show. I may have shown this one, but this one here.
Yep.
Beautiful. Now, okay. Now I'm going to tell you something that I disagree with. I will tell a bride and groom, if they're having a wedding in this situation with people at their tables, Uncle Doug probably won't do it.
Yeah.
You know why? People aren't connected. There's some table at the very back that is on TikTok or Pinterest or chatting with their friends, and they're being disruptive. If they're all up front, they're a little more connected, and I can feel the energy that's coming from a wedding.
Right.
And when you have that kind of disconnected people at the back, it's not cool. The very first wedding that I experienced that was at a local venue. I won't mention anywhere, but it was at Christmas time, and I could tell that people were not engaged at the back, and they need to be, and they're there to witness the wedding. That's what they're there for. So
right.
This one here, great shot.
That's again in front of the graffiti wall where I'm seated now.
See, and you can barely, there's some twinkle lights and very light sheer. You can't
faint enough. So. Yeah.
And this is gorgeous.
Yeah, pretty.
It's very pretty. Very, very pretty.
And that's a new style of head table that we're seeing a lot. So you have the bride and groom, or bride and groom, and then usually the maid of honor and best man across the front. So the four of them, and then you have the two tables going straight down to make a T shape. So then the bridesmaids and groomsmen are actually seated across from each other, and they can engage in conversation and also be close to the bride and groom to, you know, interact throughout the night. So it's not the traditional long head table where you're leaning down to strike up a conversation or just make a funny face at each other. Like
Or pass a note.
yeah. So
Right?
you're connected with each other throughout the night. Like that's the most important intimate table, really, aside from the parents' tables, right? So it's really nice that they can still engage with each other all evening.
Yeah, I love it. So, I mean, I just did a pro tip of my own. Do you have any on the spot? You weren't queued up for this at all, but any pro tips you want to share?
Quite honestly, I think a lot of my pro tips have been evolving through COVID. Nothing is the same anymore. You know, there was always so many societal pressures as to what your wedding day had to look like. And I think COVID's changed that. And it's also put into perspective that you have to do what's important to you and your partner. You can't make everybody happy. So it's your day, the way you see it, the way you want it to be. And in the end, that will always be what makes you happiest. So
my slogan with brides since day one has always been, it's your day, your way.
I've heard you say it before, and it's something that I've always said as well.
It's very true. I mean, so as a celebrant, I'm responsible for everything from the processional to the recessional. So coming in and leaving. And there are officiants or celebrants who are a little less flexible than me. I believe that if you want to have fun coming in and coming out, if you want to have a flower dude, if you want to, you know, hand out beers or potato chips, as long as I get some, I'm cool with that. Where some are a little more hardcore, that's not allowed, that's not professional. The only thing that I care about, the most important thing that I'm charged to do, is to witness the vows, and the vows are the most important part. So whether you promise to, you know, love, honor, and cherish, or love, honor, and clean your dirty underwear, I don't care, as long as it's a promise.
Yes.
And let's face it, some underwear are worse than others.
I might use that with my fiance. That might be my bad.
So yeah, it's very important. I mean, it's your wedding, it's your day, and everyone has a take on what they want to do, and I thank Pinterest for that. And thank God we have it, because I mean, then they're not all the same. Exactly. And you get to show your personal style when you come to what you want. So
absolutely.
Yeah. So that's a great tip. So any last words on Retro Suites and Chilled Cork that you want us to know about?
We're just gearing up for what's going to be, like you said in your email earlier, Doug, like 2022 is just looking so busy, and we are so excited to actually, I mean, Monday, everyone's masks are coming off. Things are going to feel really normal around here, and we are just so excited to dive back into that. We're booking pretty well into 2023. We still have lots of dates available for that. So just excited for brides, grooms to start planning again, and to feel the excitement, and to come feel the excitement at Retro Suites.
So I've mentioned this, I think, on the last two broadcasts as well, so I'll say it again for the third time. There's a survey that came up from the States that we'll have more weddings this year than ever before. More weddings in 1987. I don't know what happened in 1987. I was around.
I remember that from your meeting with Lisa.
Yeah, I don't know what happened, but apparently we're going to be busier than that. And, you know, looking at my bookings, it's going to be very, very busy. I am shoehorning couples in between services and figuring out how to get from point A to point B in a fast, effective way, because weddings are that busy. They really are.
Wow.
So, and I'm sure you guys are seeing the same thing, where people are looking at, you know, what do we do, and how do we fit this all in, and how do we accommodate, make each one, this is so important to me, make each one special, because each wedding that I know that I do, and I'm sure you guys are the same way, you want to make sure that they are unique and special for that couple, because, and we put so much into them. People don't realize that, right? And Heather and I have talked about this to the nth degree, that we put so much into each wedding because we care. And sometimes we
Absolutely.
care too much, which is
Yep.
not a bad thing to have. But
No,
we want to make sure that it's special for them.
that every
And
detail is perfect and we don't miss a thing. And, sometimes it's just hard to say no. We care about them so much and we want to make it so perfect. But yeah, when it comes to fitting in 2 to 3 weddings in a weekend, it's like, sorry, no, we don't have room in our storage because there's all of this other stuff. So
Mhm.
there's things that we have to bend a little bit on, and yeah, just be
Yeah.
flexible and get as many people married this year as we can.
I know, right?
They deserve it.
Exactly. So I've said this before. Like, I'm fortunate, because I can go and do up to 5 weddings a day, and 5 is a lot. 5
Yeah.
is mentally exhausting, but
Especially in like the hot summer.
oh God, I sweat like a pig. Are you kidding me?
Oh my gosh, you
If
need
you
like a little
skip that,
fan.
I get
You
get
have
a
to buy me
prize.
a new laptop.
But it's true. Like, people are asking me to do like early morning weddings, and then I have throughout the day, and I'm finding that there's one day in July that is extremely busy. One day in August, the 13th, is very busy, and then the 24th of September is extremely slammed. It is crazy.
So what do you do like when you have those morning ceremonies? Are all the guests there, or is it just an intimate ceremony? How does that work?
So the morning ones, actually, I tell a lot of couples that if you're planning a wedding and you're having like an 11 a.m., 11:30, 12 o'clock wedding, you have a great opportunity to have a brunch wedding,
Mm-hmm.
right? And we know that a brunch wedding costs less than a regular,
We do.
evening wedding, right?
Yeah.
That's why the English do the brunch weddings, right? You get, a couple of finger sandwiches, some mimosa, and then
Mm-hmm.
off you go.
Yeah.
So they are definitely cheaper and they're definitely easier. But yeah, so I have one day in August. I think I have 11 a.m. In town. Then I'm in Sarnia for 2, and then back to Chatham for 2 more. And it's just nonstop. So I just try to, if I can geographically make it happen,
Yep.
I try to do that. And each of those weddings will be unique. None of those weddings will repeat.
Right.
What I say, what I do, nothing. There was a wedding last year where I went from one very, very unique in a home, older couple. I went home, changed into a crazy sweater, and went and did another completely like crazy wedding that was just almost gaslined. It was phenomenal. But you just, I feed off of that, so I'm okay with that. But I'm at the point right now where I'm probably should close my book for this year, because people
Right.
are asking me to open up 2023 and 2024, and that seems like a long ways off.
Yeah. And
But
how do you say no?
I have a hard time saying no.
I know.
Yeah, I have the need to please disease, but
Yeah.
it's getting better. I see a therapist.
Good. There you go.
Yeah,
So you're working on it.
yeah. His name is Jack Daniels, but
He's popular.
in my house he is. Yeah, he's in all through COVID. So yeah, I mean, we all of us in this industry try to do what we can do.
Yeah.
We have when you look at different industries, I believe you find that there's certain people that have a certain lifestyle, certain give back, right? Certain traits. And wedding business is no different. We all try to like help out, do as much as we can, and I'll take a Rebecca set tomorrow because my back's gonna hurt from schlepping all these plates in, or carrying the bride's train, whatever the case may be. But yeah, we just do it, and for me, if it's in the calendar, it happens, and it gets done, and we try to make each one special, and then you're off to the next one. So
That's right.
But this is going to be a very, very busy year. So I've said this before. I'll say it again. I suggest for you, brides and grooms, grooms and grooms, brides and brides, look at take that beautiful little book that you get from any of those purveyors, whether it's Tie the Knot or what have you.
Yeah.
And they're going to get an email from you, by the way. Look at the list and move your officiant or celebrant up above things like cake or nails or hair. Those are important. Trust me. Well,
Yeah.
hair, not so much for me, but nonetheless, I digress. You want to make sure that that's in there, because if you don't have a venue for your event
Mhm.
or a celebrant to do your wedding, all
Yeah.
you have is a wedding themed party.
That's right. Those are the two most important.
We think so, right?
Yeah.
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 So.
And I've actually started supplying our couples when they come in for their initial consult to-do list. And it's actually broken down by, it starts at 10 months prior. So I guess we could plan a wedding in 10 months if we were really brave. But it breaks everything down so you can see and get a perspective of like, oh, wow, I do need to take care of this now. And just itemizes the importance of each task that needs to be done for your wedding. And yeah, officiant's like right up there with booking the venue.
Absolutely. I knew I liked
Yeah.
you for a reason. So hang on while I say goodbye to everyone, and I'll be right back to get you out of the back room. So there's another episode in the can, folks, talking about weddings or any events that tickle your fancy. And as usual, you'll see this on the Re-Engage on Sunday at 11 o'clock right here on YouTube. So if you're watching for the first time, or if you're watching for the second time, or if you're just watching because it's on engagement or Re-Engagement, click the subscribe. We're trying to get more subscribers, more followers. Share it with your friends. Let everyone know that you're watching and that you're engaged. Thank you. We'll talk to you soon.